Welcome to take 2 of my attempt at confronting Tartuccio in the ancient tomb in Pathfinder Kingmaker. If you remember last time, things went terribly wrong after we tried scouting with Lindsay, stealthed. She ended up being somehow automatically detected about here, and the combat encounter kicked off with her up front and all my frontline characters back here. It all went downhill from there. So this time what we're doing is we're just going to buff up and then march forward, and we'll start combat in a much better position than our last attempt. So it's a bit sad that scouting under stealth doesn't seem to work all that well, at least for this encounter, but we've learned our lesson and hopefully things go a bit better this time. So, first order of business, buff up, and then we'll head forward and hopefully trounce those mercenaries. So, first of all, let's have a look at Joseph. We want to make sure he's got healing potions on his belt, so might as well load up another one there. We want to chuck this scroll on him so that he can use it and bless the party. Although he can't cast Bless yet, it is on his class spell list, so that means he can use the scroll. And we'll also give him the potion of... No, we won't give him the potion of Banish. We'll save that for later. So we'll just have him use Bless and then move on to Valerie. So Valerie, she might as well use that potion. We'll also make sure she's got healing potions on hand. Might as well fill up those slots. And that's where we'll leave it with her. Amiri, we could give her this potion. I'm not sure how well it will work. I'm not sure whether the natural armor bonus that this potion gives is going to stack with the armor bonus that she's already got from armor, but we'll chuck it on her anyway and we'll have her use it and we'll learn by doing. We also make sure she's got plenty of healing potions ready to go and that she's got the weapon that we want her to use already equipped. Ditto for Joseph and Valerie. Last of all, Lindsay. She's got a couple of cure scrolls in her belt already. She's got a couple of potions. We might give her the potion of Banish just as a little get out of jail free card if she ends up caught in melee. That'll let her disappear, move, and get to safety without getting splattered. Alright, now I think everyone's got the items we want them to have ready, and they've got the weapon we want them to use equipped. Let's jump out of here.
Give the order.
What troubles you?
Have our characters.
Well,
First of all, move into position.
I'll make my own legend.
don't hesitate.
1, 2, 3.
Adventures call
So
to them.
Lindsay drop there. Let's make sure our custom formation makes sense. And again, it seems to have rearranged itself. It's a bit annoying to have to do this every time, but as long as we remember to do it, it shouldn't be a big deal. So there we go. Yeah. Alright. Now,
We should move.
let's have Joseph cast Bless.
I am yours to command.
Valerie drink her potion of Shield of Faith.
Done with waiting.
Let's have Amiri drink her potion of Barkskin.
Anything is possible.
Let's have Lindsay use her ability to inspire courage. So all of these will go off now. We'll move forward, we'll trigger the dialogue with Tartuccio, during which the game is paused, I assume, and then once that dialogue finishes and combat starts immediately afterwards, we'll be all buffed up, ready to go. So we're kind of cheating a bit here because we know what's coming from our last attempt, but given that scouting under stealth doesn't work here, not to harp on about that too much, I don't feel too bad about metagaming and using the knowledge we've already gained to our advantage. So, excellent. Now let's quickly have a look at Amiri, check her armor class, And yeah, excellent. So that barkskin potion has given us a natural armor bonus, which stacks with our armor bonus, which means that her armor class is now a bit better than it was. That's good to know. Now, having done that, what I might do, just to save time next time if this doesn't go well, is save here and move everyone forward now. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to click fairly quickly through this since we've already done it once. Tartuccio the gnome is showing some excellent leadership skills by degrading and demeaning his
Let me
team,
guess.
Why hurry?
Hold your tongue.
who don't
Quickly
like
now.
him
If we don't
very
find that
much at all.
artifact soon, someone else
We're
might
going
seize
to
it. Someone...
try to win Harem over to our side.
In your words,
This
as
time
in
we
the
succeed.
words of all who have not seen the wisdom of Grotus. Yet you seem a worthier leader than the arrogant Tartuccio. Perhaps in serving you, I shall open your eyes to the teachings of my faith.
Wonderful. So last time we rolled a 1 on this diplomacy check and failed, even though the difficulty class was only a 10 and we have a +7 to our skill. It was just unlucky, but I was going to roll with it. As it turns out, we get another go at it because we had to reload anyway, and this time we succeed easily and we convince Harem to abandon Tartuccio and join us. So that's a good result.
I see my magnificent rival will stop at nothing, even at stealing the servants of his enemy. Let us see if your fools are even more useless than mine. Draw your swords and cover my retreat.
And as last time, Tartuccio orders his lackeys to stand in our way while he escapes. Here we go. Alright, so now, let's see if we can do better this time than we did last time. We are going to have Harrion, who... Okay, so we can't... He's on our side by the look of it, but we can't control him yet. So we'll have to leave him to deal with his opponent. We can't tell him what to do. We're going to try to take out this spellcaster as quickly as possible, because last time that spellcaster started casting Enlarge Person, which made these mercenaries much more dangerous. So I'm going to have Valerie charge if she can. No, she can't. So that's unfortunate. Let's just have her move attack Tartuccio's mercenary. We might end up aborting that if it looks like she's going to incur attacks of opportunity as she moves, but for now that's what we'll do. Let's make sure that Joseph has power attack turned on. Yep. And let's see if we can get him to charge. No, so it looks like we're not in range of a charge is the problem. So again, we'll just have Joseph
We can do it!
here. Miri is going to do the same thing. We're going to have her move attack against that. So hopefully we can take out the spellcaster quickly, stop him from making the melee enemies more dangerous, and then mop up the melee enemies afterwards. We'll have Lindsay use her Daze spell against this enemy, because that enemy is the one that's most likely to get in the way of our melee characters moving toward the spellcaster, and if we can daze him, then they'll get past without trouble. So let's do that. Alright, and let's see how we go. So there's an attack of opportunity that Amiri incurred and was hit by. Daze was cast by Lindsay, but he made his will save, so that's a little unfortunate. We've got this mercenary attacking Harem by the look of it, and we've managed to get Amiri up in range of the spellcaster, so let's have her attack the spellcaster. We better make sure that she's raging to get those nice bonuses. Go and attack the spellcaster. Let's change tack slightly. Let's have Valerie and Joseph both try to take this mercenary out, and let's have Lindsay try to daze this mercenary with her next action. Harim will have to handle his mercenary. Let's see if it works. Alright, Harim's done quite well for himself there. Alright, that's the end of that round. Harim has been killed by Tartuccio's mercenary, who critically hit him with a longsword for far more damage than Harim had hit points. So that's terrible. Let's hope he's not dead, but I guess we'll have to wait to find out. Amiri's doing a good job of taking out this spellcaster mercenary, so we'll leave her to it. That spellcaster nevertheless managed to get off an enlarged person spell, and now this mercenary is much bigger than they were, so let's hope that Valerie and Joseph can take the mercenary out quickly. Now that Harim's dead, this mercenary switched to targeting Valerie. I'm not super worried about that, because Valerie's in combat, and unless this mercenary has precise shot at the feet, then they'll take a significant penalty to hit. So hopefully that'll stop them being too effective in targeting Valerie. We've got to watch what this mercenary does next, now that Harim's down. But for now, let's just leave Amiri attacking there, these two attacking there. Let's have Lindsay try to use Daze against this mercenary, just in case that one decides to target her next. Which looks like exactly what was going to happen, but thankfully Daze has stopped him in his tracks. We might move Lindsay. Ooh, I'm not sure what kind of reach this mercenary has, so I'm reluctant to run her past the mercenary up to here. I might just leave her where she is for the time being. Amiri has taken out the... Amiri, well, wow, with a fantastic critical hit, has taken out the spellcaster mercenary, so that's good. But not quickly enough to stop that spellcaster enlarging this other mercenary here, so at the moment we're dealing with two enlarged enemies again. Let's have Amiri charge this mercenary, which looks like, yep, that's going to work. Then let's have Lindsay move over to here. Hopefully that will incur an attack of opportunity on the way past, and that'll put her on the other side of our three tough characters, and hopefully screened off from this person once the days wears off. Alright, let's see how we go. Excellent! So that charge just took out that archer in one hit. That's fantastic. Joseph could use some healing. Valerie is okay. The mercenary is now targeting Joseph, so we probably want to do something about that. Let's have Amiri charge again if she can, and try to take out Tartuccio's mercenary before he can do any damage to Joseph. Let's have Joseph use his ability to lay on hands on himself as a swift action. That should go off pretty much immediately, I hope, and then we can swap him back to attacking that mercenary. And let's have Valerie keep whacking that mercenary. Let's see how we go. Alright, excellent. So that lay on hands went off. It didn't do a lot of healing, which is unfortunate. It was a swift action, so it didn't cost us much to do it anyway. Oh no! So as well as that was going, it all just fell apart when Joseph was once again critically hit and killed. No. I was feeling good about that one, and I think we were on top of it. But unluckily, we have lost. Well, Joseph is dead, so it doesn't matter that the rest of the characters might mop the last two bandits up. We're going to have to load a save. Alright, another critical hit death for Joseph. Let's just jump straight back to our last save and try that again, shall we? Alright, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it.
Let me get
Click, click, click.
quickly
Let's
now.
get through it.
If we
There is as much vanity.
I see
Got
my
him that time as
magnificent
well. Excellent. Let's hope he survives this
I need
time.
inspiration.
Alright. So, this time, I mean, I feel like the plan last time was good. Take out the spellcaster, lock down the mercenaries, but why don't we change things up a bit? Let's have these three characters, Valerie, Joseph, and Mary, all attack this mercenary. Hopefully we'll get a round's worth of doing that before this mercenary closes with us. And let's have Lindsay try to daze that mercenary before they can kill Harry. Last time. Alright, so the will save was made, that's unfortunate. Let's have a try to do that again though. Let's have these three continue to attack this archer and then swap their targets next round. Oh, there we go. It looks like the archer's dead. Yes. I forgot to have Amiri rage, so let's rectify that now. Now let's have all of them attack Tartuccio's mercenary. Alright. Harriam has died again by the look of it. Has he? It sort of looks like it. I can't tell from the combat log, but it sort of looks like he's dead there. I can't quite tell. Let's keep going and we'll hopefully figure that out. Let's have Lindsay use her Sonic spell against the spellcaster. So the reason I'm choosing to do this is that it'll do some damage, which is good. That might force a concentration check if the spell lands while that spellcaster is trying to get off a spell of their own. If it lands and does damage and disrupts a spell, that's great. If it dazes the spellcaster, that's even better. And the fortitude save that this forces is a weak save for spellcasters. So tailoring your spells to the weaknesses of your targets is kind of an important tactical decision here. Fortitude saves are not the strength for spellcaster type characters, so we'll force this spellcaster to make one, hope it fails, and we'll see how we go. These guys are all beating on the mercenary, that's good. Yeah, Harrim is dead. Alright, so this is going to be unfortunate. So, a lot happened just there. We had Harrim in fact die. We had Lindsay incur an attack of opportunity for moving, and then also for casting a spell. It looks like she dodged both of them, which is excellent. We can take a look at the combat log and see where that happened so that we can see. Yeah, so it looks like her mobility didn't matter there, so we might have to switch that on in order to get the benefit of that. Something to keep in mind for the future. But happily, we got exactly what we wanted. We had the mercenary spellcaster hit with that ear-piercing scream spell, take some damage, have their spell disrupted when their concentration check failed, and they failed their fortitude save by the look of it. I can't quite tell, but hopefully they failed their fortitude save. Yes, they did, and that means they're dazed. So that was excellent. What we want now is to get Lindsay out of danger. So we don't want Lindsay to have to hang out in the threatened area of this mercenary. So we're going to select her. We're going to pick her mobility. We're going to toggle that. And then we're going to move her away from this mercenary. So let's hope we can do all that. Where are we going to move her? Let's move her up here toward the spellcaster, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully these guys take this mercenary out this round. Oh, she moves so slowly. Excellent. Alright, so... Oh, she still incurred an attack of opportunity anyway. Oh, she failed her mobility check. Okay. That's unfortunate. She had a DC 16 check to make. She... failed? So, I'm not sure why she was so bad at that, because her mobility skills should be fairly good. We might have to try and figure that out later. Happily though, we can unselect that. We can just select fight defensively, and we can have her stay where she is. What we'll do is have Amiri charge that mercenary, and then we'll have Josus charge that mercenary as well. Actually, we'll have Amiri charge the spellcaster, and Josus and Valerie charge the mercenary. And hopefully, between us, we'll take them all out. Alright, so despite fighting defensively, it looks like Lindsay's still being hit for a fair bit of damage. Yeah, so Lindsay's armor class didn't seem to benefit from the fighting defensively there. It looks like she's still just getting size, dex, and armor to armor class. So she didn't get that +2 dodge to armor class that she should have got. So I don't know why that is. I'm a little confused, but okay, I guess we'll just roll with it. We're going to have her use her mobility to move away from this melee enemy now that we've got our two other melee characters there to engage him. Miri, who's just killed the spellcaster by the look of it. Yep, we're going to have her now charge back here.
I must be doing it.
Oh, we can't do that. Alright, no worries.
Do not
Just
falter.
attack. No, we can do that, so there we go. And we'll have them continue to attack. Alright, we're in good shape. It looks like Lindsay didn't move then. I am confused again. So, have a move using mobility to avoid an attack of opportunity, hopefully. Let's have our melee characters clear this person out. There we go. Excellent. Alright, so we've won. Fantastic. And we've got a little update there. Let's first of all loot some nuts. Alright. We're not going to collect every little bit and piece of loot here, just because selling the low value loot is so tedious in those vendor screens, given that the items don't stack and you have to click them one by one. So it's not really worth it to loot all the incidental bits and pieces. Let's make sure we don't miss anything nice though. So some fruit to go with our nuts. Oh, that looks like a magic longsword. Wonderful, we will have that. Chocolate, alright. 100 gold piece worth of composite longbow, which we'll definitely take. More scale mail and heavy shields that we don't want. Let's loot the spellcaster as well. There we go. So he's got a scorched fragment of a necklace. This item bears a trace of lost power. It seems you've found a shard of a destroyed artifact. If you find all of the fragments, an artisan with enough skill could restore it for you. Interesting. Alright, so we'll take that for sure and hope we find the rest of the bits. And there's also a light crossbow, which we don't want. So, we've looted the fallen mercenaries.
What troubles you?
We'll have Lindsay heal herself before we go any further. So that's a nice little whack of healing. We'll have to do that again, just because we don't like rolling around at less than full hit points if we don't have to. Now, let's save here, having successfully avoided death by critical hit, 3rd time lucky. And let's talk to...
I'll make my own legend.
Can we actually select dialogue to talk to one of our party members?
This is my
Doesn't
path.
look like it.
I stand
No,
ready.
we can't. Okay, so now that he's joined us, we can't actually talk to him. Alright, fair enough. What we can do, though, is level him up. So, let's make sure we haven't missed anything here. Oh, there are some inspection
And
sort
Lindsay
of
was
icons
called
that we
for.
should have a look at. So Lindsay, our curious little bard, is going to look at these elements of the environment, which are telling us some sort of nice descriptive things about the tomb. Nothing that jumps out as anything we can do. Alright, so maybe if we find something further into the tomb or later in the game, we might be able to do something with some of this, but at the moment it looks like this is just flavor text, so fair enough.
Everywhere I go,
Let's level
the
Harry
pall
up
hangs
before we
over
go any
everything.
further.
They'll keep
This
the
might
things
take a
better
little
before I
while,
arrive.
but definitely walking around at a lower level than you need to be doesn't make any sense, so let's level him up. He's a cleric. We actually might have a look at his
Was lost in thought.
character before we go any further. So he is some sort of cleric. Can we get some more detail on that? If we look at class, it seems that he's got the chaos domain, so he'll get some extra spell choices pertaining to chaos somehow, and he's got the destruction domain. So those give you little special abilities and an expanded spell selection, a sort of thematic spell list for each of those that we can pick spells from at each level. So that's nice. He's got his usual cleric proficiencies. His god is... Are we going to be able to see that? No. Okay. Fair enough. I guess it doesn't matter hugely. Yeah, so he's a cleric of chaos and destruction. He's got... That's a silly choice. It looks like his 1 feat at first level has been spent on heavy armor proficiency. So he can use heavy armors now, as opposed to, I guess, just the medium... just the medium armors that he could have used as a cleric. But that seems to me a real waste of a feat. The difference between sort of the best medium armor and the best heavy armor is going to be a few points of armor class. Really, I don't think it's going to be worth burning a feat on. So questionable build choice there from the sort of developers who have given you this character to work with. Feats for clerics are kind of precious commodities. Unlike fighters, for instance, they don't get bonus feats over the course of their progression. They just get the single feat at each sort of few levels that every character gets. So burning one on being able to wear heavy armor just strikes me as a waste. So that's a bit of a shame. But we'll see if we can develop the character, a bit more effectively later on. Let's go level up. Yep. Alright, so we're going to level up as a cleric. Doesn't make any sense to multi-class him, I don't think. We're not going to have a lot of choices to make at 2nd level as a cleric. We're going to have to spend some skill points. Now, he's got 2, and that's because clerics as a class get 2. He doesn't have an intelligence bonus, and he's not a human with that skilled special feature, which gives an extra skill point each level. So just the 2 skill points to spend. They've been spent on law religion, which makes sense for a cleric, and on perception. I am going to put another one on perception because it's such an important skill, you can't really have enough of it. We've already got Joseph investing into law religion, if you remember. But now that we've got Harem, maybe we could start him as well, and then Joseph's skill points might be able to go somewhere else. Really, I think there's not a lot of, it doesn't matter a huge amount, I don't think, where this cleric's skill points go. He's more about his spells and his melee combat, so let's just dump it on law religion and be done with it. And there we go. So that was very simple. We only had to allocate a couple of skill points. Nothing else to decide for leveling up to second level as a cleric. So we'll say complete. Excellent. So now he's got a few more hit points. He'll also have a few more spells. So if we open his spell book, we'll see that at level 0, he can cast Guidance, Resistance, Light, and Virtue, so some very minor spells. At level 1, it looks like he's memorized... No? Yeah, here we go. So at level 1, it looks like he's got Bless and Bane already memorized, and having gone up to level 2, he's now got an extra spell slot here that we can fill with something, and he's got a domain slot. So yeah, I was saying before, cleric domains give those sort of flavorful abilities, and they give a few more options for spells at each level, so you can pick a spell from one of your 2 domains to fill your domain slot at each level. So here he's picked True Strike. I'm not sure which domain that's associated with. Probably Destruction, so Protection from Law sounds like it's probably the Chaos domain spell. That would make sense. And True Strike is the Destruction domain spell. So he's picked True Strike, or he's been given True Strike. Probably the better choice. Protection from Law is a sort of circumstantial spell at best. You'd have to know you were going to face lawful creatures, and then you'd get a bonus to armor class and saves versus their attacks. True Strike gives you basically a guaranteed hit on your next attack roll. So a plus 20 bonus pretty much guarantees you're going to hit. So that can be a good little kind of ace in the hole, so to speak, if you really need to land an attack roll. So we'll leave that where it is. Bless is a good spell. It just gives you a bonus to attack and a bonus on saves against fear. Probably we'll stick with that one. Bane is less great. Enemies have to make a save. If they fail, they take a penalty on attack rolls. Yeah, probably we could pick something better there. And now we've got a 3rd slot to fill, so we won't get rid of this because that'd leave us with an empty slot. The prepared spell would just disappear. But we do have to pick something to fill this slot for the next time we rest. And what we can do is grab this one. So I really like Summon Monster because, as I've been saying, actions are your most important resource in combat, I think. And being able to summon a whole nother creature gives you a whole nother creature's worth of actions to work with. And it also gives you something that can, be tactically positioned on the battlefield, something that can soak up enemies' attention, and something that you really don't ultimately care about. It's only going to last a brief time. You don't have to worry about healing it. So having Summon Monster, I think, would be a very good idea. We're not going to rest yet, but next time we rest we'll have that added to our prepared spells, and we might want to swap Bane out for something at that point as well. But for now, there we go. He's leveled up, we picked a spell for his empty slot, and we should push on deeper into the tomb, I guess. Let's save there and do that. Oh, no, let's make sure our formation... Oh, God, that's ugly. Let's make sure our formation makes sense with our new party member. So we're going to have Joseph and Valerie up front. We're going to have Lindsay up the back still. And let's put Harim and Amiri in the second row there. That seems to make as much sense as anything. Alright, pushing on. Let's see. This is the way Tartuccio fled, so let's see what we can find down here. Oh, cool. Alright, so scrolling down here we see Harim has just made a perception check and noticed something. So let's
Just letting the ink dry.
move Lindsay over to it and interact with it, because she's the one who has the relevant skills. If it's some sort of... No, it's just a button or something to press or activate. So she didn't need to make any sort of skill check. She just interacted with the thing.
What's that?
And opened this. Oh, and we've noticed something else. So let's do the same thing. Let's have
I wrote it like I saw it.
Let's have Lindsay go and interact with it. Alright, she's found an ancient Cyclops coin, a memento of times long past. A well-grounded antiquities collector might pay handsomely for it. So it's worth 100 gold, according just to the little pop-up screen. But it seems like we're being given a hint here to maybe hang on to it until we find an antiquities collector, rather than just hocking it to the first innkeeper we come across. So we'll grab that and we'll hang on to it. Okay, so there's an exit from the tomb, I guess, but we've managed to notice this thing that let us open this bit of wall. So let's not leave quite yet. Let's go explore some more. Alright. So the secret
call to
room,
that.
I think I'm going to put
troubles you?
Lindsay, who is our character, I think, with the best perception. So she's got that +7 because of her skill ranks and her race. I think she's got the best perception. She just beats Harim, whose advantage is all down to his wisdom, really. So yep,
Anything is
let's
possible.
have Lindsay move forward and investigate for us with her good perception score.
And so they walked on.
Alright. Whoa! Ha! That sucks. So it looks like she failed to notice a trap which just went off and magic missiled all of us. Luckily, those magic missiles seem to target one character rather than all focusing on a single character. So each missile hit a different character, but if that trap had of all... Lindsay has 19 hit points total. She would have taken 5d4 +5 damage, which could very have killed her. So we got off lightly there. Lindsay failed to notice the trap, but given the way that it targeted, she wasn't focused on and killed by it, so that's lucky. And here she's found some stuff. Okay, a flower, an inkwell, a silver bell, and some gold. So I kind of like how the loot is, pretty and different. Yeah, we'll grab that, and hopefully we can flog it off for some money. Alright, so there's something to investigate up here. Let's have her do that. Alright, again, it's flavor text. I can't see really that there's anything we can do about that, so let's move on. Oh, so we found the Cyclops coin there. There was something about a coin mentioned in one of these flavor text or whatever descriptive text
And
boxes
Lindsay
back
was
here.
called forth. Right.
She was indeed. Go and have a look again, Lindsay, and see if we can find the bit that mentioned the coin. Am I misremembering? No, there we go. So, in this image, we can see... Let's get that back up again and pause it, and hopefully that'll keep it up there long enough to read. Yeah, so the image carved... The image carved in the stone is almost completely worn away over the ages. One can still distinguish a sickle, a sword, and a skull with a single eye socket covered with a coin. Alright, so we found a coin. It was called a Cyclops coin, which seems like it relates to something with a skull with a single eye socket, but it doesn't look like we can do anything here. So we've got some tantalizing text and an item that seems relevant, but we can't really do anything like find a skull and put the coin over its eye socket, which would be kind of cool, and see if that does anything. So I guess, did we check that? No, we didn't check that. So some scrolls, some minor bits of loot and some gold, we'll take that, thank you. And I guess now we leave, since we've investigated, explored, been magic missiled, which was exciting. I guess now we go. We seem to have exhausted the possibilities of this tomb for now. Alright, so this again tells us what we've left behind. It's all the dregs that we don't want to be bothered carrying and then selling for minor amounts of gold. So we'll leave that behind and head outside. Okay, we get another of these storybook choose your own adventure type sections of the game. How sweet, the first breath of fresh air after the stale, damp stuffiness of that tomb. Before us stretched an unending heath, replete with hills and gullies and patches of low shrubs. Already the trail of Tartuccio and his companions had gone cold. Alright, well, we're not going to give up, so I guess we make a law nature check, which we succeed at, which is nice. I guess that was probably Amiri making the roll with a +6. So it was far from guaranteed that we were going to beat that DC 11, and we did only just narrowly beat it. But success is success, so we get to find something out now. No blade of grass was bent. It must have had enough time to straighten back up, since whoever last passed through. But the heath's dry earth preserved the prints of little shoes, Tartuccio. Our eyes to the ground, we followed the trail. We walked and walked until finally we came to a huge gully, the dried-up bed of a river of yore. But what is this? At the edge, the grass was trampled down and the soil turned up, and claw prints, lots of them. We'd stumbled upon a fresh battlefield, and here the trail split. One set of footprints walked away from the battle and down into the gully. The brave footprints that faced down their enemies followed the path along its edge. So we're trying to follow Tartuccio. I can't imagine that Tartuccio is the brave footprints facing down enemies. It seems far more likely that he's tried to get away from the battle, so that's my guess. Our options, though, are another law nature check, DC 14 with a +6, so yeah, we're far from guaranteed to make that one, but we've got a decent chance. We've also got a detect magic option, given that we've got, I think, our cleric and our bard, we can choose this option. That seems like a sure thing rather than a shot at a law nature check, so let's take this one to see if we can follow the traces of Tartuccio's sorcerous magic. We discovered traces of a spell, apparently from the illusion school of magic, near where the lonely trail descended into the gully. So yeah, there we go. My guess was that Tartuccio's prints were the ones leading away from the battle. Detecting magic gives us traces of illusion magic following or lingering near those, fleeing footprints. So the tracks descending into the gully look like the ones we want to follow if we're going to catch up with Tartuccio. Now that we know that, I guess we know where we're going. But we could still, it looks like, try to make a law nature check to study and learn something from the clawed footprints. Let's do that. Nice. So we succeed with a really good roll. And we learn what? We learn the claw marks were not deep, the attackers were small and lean. And more, these creatures walked on 2 legs. Finally, the form of the prince left no doubt in our minds we'd stumbled onto kobold lands. Remember when we talked to Bokken, he wanted moon radishes, and he told us he didn't know where they were, but kobolds liked them. Well, it looks like we've found traces of some kobolds, and maybe if we followed the kobold tracks we might find the moon radishes that Bokken wants. But we've got a choice here. We can either follow the kobold tracks by the look of it, or we can follow Tartuccio's prints. And I think Tartuccio, tracking him down, is more important than getting some radishes for our alchemist friend. So we're going to follow with the footprints that descend into the gully, which we think are Tartuccio's. The way down was steep, and it took some time to reach the bottom. Walking on the loose soil was difficult, but the clawed footsteps were easy to spot. The bottom of the gully went downhill deeper and deeper. Finally, the footprints turned, whirled up the steep slope and disappeared at the gully's edge. We couldn't but admire the animal agility and clever claws of the creatures we were following. Hang on, I thought we were following Tartuccio. The slope before us was as tall as 2 men, and it ended at a hanging crest. Climbing such a slope would be no easier than climbing a sheer wall. However, a long, steady-looking root stuck out of the ground from the top. So a nice little sketch here showing the situation. So again, we're not going to give up on chasing Tartuccio. It looks like we have to make... Oh, God. We have no chance. So, with a -7 due to our armor class penalty, our armor check penalty, it looks like Joseph is our best shot. So, unless we roll 18 or better, we're not going to succeed here. So it's unlikely we'll succeed. Oh, hang on. No, we get to pick. We get to choose who does it. So we can choose our best character. Amiri, the barbarian, should be able to give us our best shot. So let's try. Failed, even so. So with a dismal roll of 6, we fail by 1, which hurts more than failing by 10. But we fail nonetheless. After tugging on the root, Amiri took a deep breath, grabbed it with both hands, and began the difficult ascent. Pushing with her feet against the slope and grabbing the root with both her hands, she climbed higher and higher. Only her heavy breathing and the faint creaking of the root broke the deadly silence. Suddenly, dust poured down from the top of the slope, and the root began to slide from the ground. With a loud groan, the gully crest started to collapse, and Amiri rolled back down, head over heels, a landslide fast behind her. More and more soil cascaded down, and our hapless companion was all but buried, head to toe. She's not going to be happy after this, I imagine. We rushed to dig her out. Luckily, digging the loose soil was quick work, and in a moment we pulled her out. Dirty, scared, no doubt angry, more than scared, but happily unscathed. After recovering our senses, we clambered up the slippery slope, but the trail had washed away. So it looks like failing that mobility check has destroyed Tartuccio's trail, and maybe we've lost him. Alright, yeah, so it looks like we've lost him. Ouch, failing by 1 really stings now. The evil little gnome's gotten away. Alright, so at this point it looks like we've got a choice of where to go. We can head to Thorn Ford. We've got a new thing on our map. Maybe that's appeared just because we've got close enough to that area for it to pop up. I don't know. We've got Fangberry Cave, which is what we initially set out to find on Bocken's behalf before we met the strange hobo-type man who cryptically put us onto Tartuccio's trail, which we've just now lost. And that looks like it for our choices. Alright, well, how about we head back to Fangberry Cave and see if we can't get those fangberries for Bokken before heading all the way back to Oleg's trading post to sell some loot and rest in safety. That sounds like a plan. So let's save here and do that. Can we just click and go? No, we still can't do that. Alright, so we have to click this way. No, we don't want to enter the ancient tomb. Let's go the way we've already been.
Resting would be nice, don't you think?
Alright, so Lindsay and Joseph have ended up fatigued at this point, so we might try to rest at the next chance we get. Alright. Random encounter. Enemies. Should we fight them or should we try to avoid them? Let's try to avoid them, since we've got a mission here. Alright, we've spotted them. We've failed to sneak past them. So it looks like avoiding a random encounter is a two-part process. Some sort of spotting challenge, which would no doubt be a perception check, and then a sneaking challenge, which would be a stealth check. And although we made the first one, we failed the second one. I don't know how those are being calculated, whether it's our best characters, a character with the best perception, whether it's the character with the worst stealth maybe, who has to roll for that one. Like, that'd make a cool kind of sense, you know, if your worst character can't get past, then all of you are detected. So I don't know how that's done, but it looks like however it's done, we failed to evade, so we have to fight. Alright. Little tip there about resting in medium or heavy armor. You can't, so take that off
Resting would be
before you
nice,
rest, or make sure you
don't
just
you
equip
think?
some light armor. Okay, so we have a single bandit who is apparently very impressed with himself and thinks he can take on 5 opponents. Yeah, unless we're missing something, I think we
I
should
am
be
your
okay
shield.
here. Let's have Valerie
I'm tired of
charge. Let's have Joseph also charge.
This is my path.
No? No, he can't charge because he's fatigued. Ah, we're learning. There we go.
We can do it!
He can just attack
Adventures
though,
await.
Give the
so we'll
order.
have him do that. Valerie charge, just to make sure we're doing the right thing.
Apprentice awaits us.
Harrion, he can cast Bless,
What's
give
your
us all a little bonus, not that we're likely to need it. Let's have Miri use her Barbarian Rage and charge.
I wrote
And
it like I
let's
saw it.
have Miri, Lindsay, sorry, you actually can turn that off, we don't need that now. Let's have her try to daze. Well, it looks like we've still got a daze. So the 0 level spells don't run out. You can use 0 level spells an unlimited number of times per day. So she's got daze. Alright,
Arrest is
let's
in
go.
order. Aborone sentes.
Alright, so daze landed. Oh, damn, we did miss something. There's another bandit who was hidden behind our little character panel here, and who is now whacking away at Harrion. So let's change tack here. Let's have Lindsay drop a daze on him. Let's have Harrion attack him. That's already happening. Let's have... Yep, these guys continue to try and take this bandit out. Oh. So that wasn't great. We had the bandit move around Harrion, who either didn't get or didn't look for opportunity, and engage Lindsay, which is a smart choice on his part, I guess, but unfortunately for him, she got off the daze spell and he is now dazed. So that means we can move her away without worrying about an attack of opportunity, and then we can have all of these characters.
Strike
Oh,
with
I
all
forgot
your
you can't
might!
charge, you just have to attack. And all of these characters charge back and attack this bandit. Alright. Alright. I think we're pretty happy with how this is going. No one needs healing. The bandit's surrounded. We should probably finish it off this round. Excellent. There we go. Let's unpause to finish combat. And let's loot. Nothing worth taking. Alright, let's see if there's anything in this gory splatter. That's all that's left of the bandit that was criticaled. And there's a nice composite longbow which we'll grab. We might grab this leather armor now that we've just learned about resting in medium and heavy armor. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have a decent suit of light armor that we can equip before resting, so that if we're attacked during the rest, at least we've got something on rather than our underpants. So we'll take that. We'll keep an eye out for any
Anything is
more
possible.
suits of light armor. He didn't have one, did he? Yeah, that was scale mail that we can grab, and that will let us resting, as much safety as we can, or with as much protection as we can have on. Alright, no, we don't want any of that, let's just leave. A tip about killing liches. Evil, undead, powerful spellcasters. Let's hope we don't need to put this bit of advice into practice anytime soon. Alright, another random encounter defeated. Let's move on toward Fangberry Cave, which we've now found. Excellent. I wonder about the light mechanic here. I wonder if the darkness in dungeons is just a kind of problem for sort of us as players, it makes it harder for us to see what's in the environment, or whether there's actually a sort of in-game impact of lighting on our character's effectiveness. So some characters, some races rather, have dark vision. So as a dwarf, I would expect Harim to have dark vision, but it looks like he doesn't. Interesting. So it seems like light and vision are not a feature of the game. I think that's a missed trick. I can't imagine that it would be so hard to include that. And it does mean that one of the real advantages in the pen and paper game of races like dwarves, like half-orcs, like elves and like halflings, namely their ability to see better in poor light or indeed in total darkness, just doesn't feature here. And in the Pathfinder pen and paper rules, the races are kind of carefully balanced, and dark vision is one of the advantages that balances out sort of disadvantages for those races. So just chopping it out, I think, is a bit of a shame. It takes some depth out of the game, and it probably does something to race balance. Not that it's a huge issue, but interesting decision, I think, to leave that out. Alright, maybe it does matter and I'm completely wrong, but from what I can see, it doesn't seem to. Alright, so we are going to try to find this cave with spiders and fangberries. Before we go in though, we're going to rest. That looks like the cave. Wonderful. Alright, so the game is very helpfully telling us about swarms before we go inside. Telling us that they can't be hit with normal weapons, they need to be hit with area of effect things like splash damage weapons or spells, or something of that sort. Torches will work too. So the game's telling us now, whereas it apparently didn't earlier, in earlier sort of versions, how to defeat the swarms that we're about to encounter. Alright, before we go in there though, we want to rest. So let's save.
Well,
And let's jump into the spellbook of Harim, and let's get rid of Bane because it's not a fantastic spell. Let's see if we can find something a bit more useful. Maybe even just another summon monster, really. It's such a good spell to have, I think. So Bless and summon 2 summon monsters. We'll stick with True Strike for the domain spell. And that's good. Alright. So, rest. Set up camp right outside the spider cave. And take our rest. So yeah, this, like we've done before, we need to manage our campsite by assigning different characters to different roles to get different bonuses or different effects, like less likelihood of attack, for instance. We want our perceptive characters on watch, so we can clear those 2 out, and we can put, well, we want Lindsay there really because she's got the best stealth check for the camouflage job. Let's put our other character with good perception though over there. Joseph doesn't have a special ability. Ooh, Harim has a special ability that we haven't seen yet. Blend into the night. Let's see what that is. So, he can just mystically decrease our chance of attack. Alright, interesting. Maybe he'd be better in that special role than on watch. Let's see how he goes. I guess using a special ability when it's there always seems like a good idea to me. So we can just drop our 2 warrior types onto watch. Hopefully that means they're up and ready if we are attacked, and having our warrior types up and ready if we are attacked seems like a good idea. No one's cooking, but no one's really good enough at it to have a decent chance of success there, so we're not too fussed about that. And Amiri, of course, is doing our hunting for us. So we're going to use our healing abilities and spells as we rest. And let's do it.
What for Gorum?
Okay, so Amiri has been attacked while hunting, and it looks like she's brought a giant spider back to our campsite. Okay, so Harim just got bitten by a giant spider for a fairly significant amount of damage. Luckily, he made a fortitude save against the poison effect that bite carries. Now, we sort of got lucky there. If Harim's the one being targeted, as a dwarf, he gets, he's got a fairly decent constitution save against poison. It's not showing in this little pop-out screen, but he should have some sort of racial bonus against poison as well, I think. In any case, though, he's saved, and now we better make sure we take this spider out as quickly as possible. So Amiri's out of rage rounds, that's unfortunate, but let's have an attack anyway. Valerie, so zooming in, it looks like she's... I can't quite tell. No, she's still wearing the armor, so yeah, I'm not quite sure how the resting in armor thing works.
We can do it!
It looks like we can all pile onto the spider. Lindsay casting Daze against the spider would be a waste, because Daze only affects humanoids. Spiders are not humanoids, so we won't have her bother with that. Instead, we'll have her inspire courage to help the arachnophobes out, and that'll give us a bonus to take this spider down. Excellent, so we took out the spider before it could bite anyone else, and forced them to make a saving throw versus poison, which failing would have been a bad thing, and would have done some ability damage, I imagine. And recovering from ability damage can be a bit of a pain if you don't have the right spells or magic items. So I'm glad we took it out quickly and didn't have to worry about that. Alright. I wonder now how we get back into resting. Do we just click here? Apparently we do. Everything is as it was.
I'm looking at our gang,
Let's
and I'm
try that again,
wondering,
shall we?
how the hell are we still alive yet? Everyone's so smart, it makes me sick. Writing smart books. Fancy prayers to the gods. I only punch first and then sort it out. I guess that's why we're still alive.
Okay, it looks like we got through the rest that time. No, not quite yet. So hunting was successful, camp camouflage was successful. It looks like our gloomy dwarf cleric is just going to automatically use his blend into the night ability, great. And now we have to keep resting to get the full effects of the rest. Okay, sure. Alright, and there we go. So 21 hours later, we've had some natural healing and some healing due to spells and abilities. And we're all back to full health, not fatigued, and ready to take on some spiders and spider swarms inside this very unwelcoming looking cave. What I might do is leave that for the next time. So, having tracked Tartuccio to a tomb, defeated his mercenaries, and then done our darndest to follow him and failed, we've returned to our quest for Bokken to find Fangberries. We've found the cave with the Fangberries inside, and we just need to get through spiders and spider swarms so we can pick those berries. That's what we'll try next time, so I will leave it here and see you in the next one.